If you ever needed proof that America has two justice systems, one for the powerful and one for everyone else, let me show you. On one side, we have former Congressman George Santos, who lied, cheated, and stole over $500,000 in campaign funds, donor money, and even people's identities. He was sentenced to 7 years in federal prison. And guess what? His sentence was commuted, cut short, by Donald Trump. He's already out. On the other side, we have Willie Simmons. In 1982, he robbed a man of $9. But he was sentenced to life in prison without parole. He is still there over 40 years later. $500,000 stolen. Freedom. $9 stolen. Life in prison. Same country, same system, different outcomes. And they still call this justice. Until we face the fact that our justice system protects status and not fairness, we are going to keep watching men like George Santos walk free while we watch men like Willie Simmons die behind bars. That is not justice. That's America. And it's time that we stop pretending otherwise.
Hey fam, so there is just one 5-part thing you need to understand about this administration. Corruption, theft, graft, greed, and cruelty. That is it. Corruption, theft, graft, greed, cruelty. What do I mean? This is the most corrupt administration in the history of the United States. Donald Trump is personally enriching himself off the presidency in a way no previous president has. Between the crypto schemes and all of the other ways he's personally profiting, going to foreign countries and getting them to invest in golf courses, his businesses, his family, making all the money in the world. Total corruption. Also corrupting the Justice Department, making them go after and prosecute people he's deemed his enemies personally that he's mad at because they prosecuted him for his actual crimes. Total corruption. Then there's theft. When Donald Trump, and I do say when he gets Pamela Joe and the DOJ to pay him $230 million to basically bribe them the way he bribed CBS and the way he bribed ABC, you know who's going to pay for that? You. They're stealing your money because it is the taxpayer who funds the DOJ. So that payment will come from your pockets, just as the big tax cut for the billionaires came from your pockets while you can't get food stamps and you can't get healthcare subsidies. So that's the theft. The graft, the Republicans are in on it. Every single Republican and friend of Donald Trump and billionaire pal of his, all making money off of what should be the federal government and the public spaces. He's handing over our national parks and our national public spaces to be drilled, to be whatever, because they're friends of the president. That's the graft. And the greed is kind of obvious, right? They're all just greedy motherfuckers who are stealing from you in order to enrich themselves while everyone else is made poor. And the fifth piece, the cruelty. What the po folks who vote for Trump get is not farm subsidies, not food stamps, not assistance. They get to go broke and be poor, but they get to watch the people they hate be beat up, dragged in the streets, thrown into detention. They get to watch the cruelty toward the brown people they hate, and that is what they get. They get to feel superior to black people who get fired and laid off, and the cruelty toward non-white people, let's be clear, and toward trans people and other minorities, that is what his po-ass base get, because that's all that they crave. They're like vampires. They need to drink the cruelty toward the people they hate, and that's what they get. Everyone else gets the corruption, the theft, the graft, and the greed, and all y'all little Trumpers, what you get is the cruelty, because the cruelty is always the point when it comes to conservatives. It's what conservatism is, cruelty that backs corruption, theft, graft, and greed. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Hi guys, my name is Messi and you're welcome back to my channel. You know, sometimes I think people forget that history doesn't just vanish. It echoes, and right now, those echoes are loud. What's happening in America isn't random. It's not coincidence. It's history knocking on the door, reminding this country of every injustice it's tried to bury. For generations, America brutalized black people, enslaved them, segregated them, and they wrote laws to keep them beneath everyone else. Families were torn apart, lives were stolen, and entire communities were punished simply for existing. And yet, America never truly repented. It just moved on, changed the language, cleaned up the image, but never the heart. So, when people say God has remembered black people, especially FBA, I feel that deeply because it's not revenge, it's balanced. You can't sow hate, greed, and cruelty for centuries and expect peace to grow out of it. Every empire that built itself on pain eventually faces that knocking.
Despite the government shutdown, U.S. taxpayers' funding to Israel will continue unimpeded. Wow. Paychecks for our own government employees will be delayed. SNAP welfare food program benefits will also be delayed. Government projects will not be going through, and even paychecks to our own U.S. military, our own soldiers, that will be delayed too. But payments and benefit to blue states, country, and military, that's going to continue on even though they're supposed to be in a ceasefire. The great noticing continues, and this just keeps on getting ridiculous.
Okay, since no one's going to say it, I'm going to say it. Let's just call it what it is. This Trump administration isn't some showcase of brilliance or strategy or moral authority. It is a showcase of white mediocrity, broadcast for the entire world to see. If you think about it, they scream about being the greatest. They scream about being the smartest, the most patriotic. But when the spotlight hits them, what do we see? Corruption, incompetence, lies stacked on top of lies. A government so insecure it has to redraw maps, it has to silence voters, it has to attack its own citizens just to hold on to power. And the world is watching. Countries overseas are looking at America, shaking their heads, saying, "This is America? This is what we were told was the standard for democracy?" Because for centuries, whiteness carried itself alongside synonymous with excellence, while dismissing black and brown excellence as inferior. But Trump's administration has blown that myth to pieces because globally, people see it now. Whiteness in power doesn't guarantee wisdom. It doesn't guarantee justice. It doesn't even guarantee competence. All it guarantees is access. Access, handed down through a rigged system that protects mediocrity as long as it wears the right skin. So let's be clear. This ain't about every white person, but it is about the fact that Trump has exposed the truth that the old story of white superiority was never superiority at all. It was all smoke and mirrors. And now the smoke has cleared. So what comes next, right? If America wants respect on the world stage again, it won't come through Trump. It won't come through clinging to whiteness. It will come through honesty, justice, and multiracial democracy that values talent, not skin. Because the global stage just learned what we've always known. When you strip away the privilege, white mediocrity can't hold a candle to black excellence.
You know, one of the best things that has happened thus far from all of this is that we now get to see who we live amongst. We now get to see who we call our neighbors. We now get to see who we have been attending church with all these years. We now get to see the underbelly of this country. We get to see if a certain group of people do not come out and fight, what happens in this country. I said, God, you are so strategic. God is so strategic. Everything that God does, remember, it's for a reason and a purpose. Basically, black people has been staying home. And you see what happened when black people stay home and mind their business. The country literally is collapsing. Because, yes, you're going to say, oh, yeah, because we're not rioting. Because everything that we do, they blame it on us. And now they have nobody to blame. The people who are fighting don't know what to do. Even the people who are inflicting the pain don't know what to do. So they're getting crazier because they want to agitate people. They want to agitate black people to come out of their house because their plan is not going the way they want it to go. Black people staying home has thrown a monkey wrench in their plan and they don't know what to do. But now we all get to see who we live amongst. We see the new Republican Party. We are full of racist banter. It's just disgusting. And these are people who are going to churches on Sunday.
Ladies and gentlemen, gods and goddesses, peace, understanding, and freedom. Let's get into some more documented proof of our people being in the Americas before the 1500s. Welcome to the cookout. Today we're going to be talking about Peter Martyr, okay? Peter Martyr's most significant contributions came in the form of his extensive writings, okay? He chronicled the voyages of Columbus and other explorers, offering detailed accounts of the New World, aka the Old World, the Americas, and its inhabitants, all right? One of his major works is Decades of the New World, which further expanded on the explorations and described the customs, societies, and geography of the newly discovered lands. It was in these writings particularly that the third decade that Martyr said something that is often overlooked by many scholars and historians alike. Martyr wrote in the early 1500s the following about a land in the Caribbean Sea just 2 days from where he was. What he said was, they found Negroslaves there. All right, you do the spelling. From a country distant only 2 days' time that produces only dark people. Now, allow us to cross-reference really fast. You see additional evidence. Vasco Núñez de Balboa also said the same thing, and he was a Spanish conquistador. Let's get into it. There's a region not past 2 days' journey distant from Curepa in which they found only dark Moors. So when it comes to Peter, Peter was a historian to King Ferdinand II and Queen Isabella, okay? So Peter's position allowed him to witness an accord of events in time, including the discovery of the New World or Old World by Christopher Columbus. So when you cross-reference these things, these people are saying the same thing. When they came upon these lands, there were dark people there. Now, the only thing these people went wrong is you have to understand their people are rather new when it comes to the history of the world. So they assume all darkness comes from the continent of Africa, and this is not true. America is the true old world, all right? America is our motherland, our homeland, all right? The most beautiful land in all of the world, and that's just true. Hey, I hope you guys enjoyed the cookout. I'm out.
So hear the word of the Lord. America is on the edge of a great divide. And what we are about to see will not simply be political, it will also be spiritual. For over 3 years, I have been declaring that I saw civil war brewing, not only in the nation, but not excluding the nation, also in the church. And we are now seeing tremors of that becoming visible. But I hear the word of the Lord say that he's drawing a line between those that serve his kingdom and those who serve their own. He is exposing false pacts and false unities, both in the natural system and in the church. He is separating light from darkness and revealing darkness that has been presented as light. He is revealing truth from deception and the prophetic from the political. So don't be deceived. The battle lines are not red and blue. Those battle lines will cause conflict to intensify. But in the streets and in the pulpits, it shall be, but God never leaves himself without a witness. God is tearing down idols that have replaced him. Nationalism, celebrity, greed, offense, comfort. The Lord says, my prophets must not retreat into silence, nor hide behind loyalty. For I'm raising up a remnant whose allegiance is to heaven first. Voices that will not be bought, intimidated, or silenced. So prepare your heart, for judgment begins at the house of God, and it comes to his church. And as it comes to his church, it's going to come to the nation. But those who are anchored in his kingdom will stand as cities on hills when that shaking begins.
Thus saith the Lord, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness which they have prescribed, to turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor of my people. From the very first days of this term, January 2025, you have trampled the cries of the oppressed and mocked the divine order of justice. You have turned compassion into weakness, greed into policy, and hatred into law. You have desecrated what is holy. You stand in the temple of American power, lifting your hands in the name of God while your heart is far from him. You've used his name in vain, not just in speech, but in policy, in deception, in cruelty. Because you have plundered many nations, all the remnants of the people shall plunder you. For the stone shall cry out from the wall, and the beam from the timber shall answer it. You tear down pillars of equity, you exalt the wealthy and cast out the stranger. You sow discord, provoke war, and turn neighbor against neighbor for your own gain. But the Lord sees. You shall not pervert justice due to the poor in his lawsuit. Keep far from a false charge, for I will not acquit the wicked. From the border to the bench, from the budgets you've gutted to the black and brown voices you silenced. Your sin is not hidden. It is written across the heavens. Your golden dome will not protect you. Your walls will not hold. Your false prophets will not shield you from divine consequences. For every child caged, for every book banned, for every lie spoken in God's name, you have cursed yourself. They sow wind, and they shall reap the whirlwind. And until a true servant of the Lord leads this land in humility, wisdom, and justice, America shall not see restoration. If my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray, and seek my face, and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven, and will heal their land. You will not manipulate the kingdom. You will not merchandise the gospel, and you will not mock God. The season of false rule is short, but the justice of the Lord is eternal. Repent or fail, thus saith the Lord.
Listen to me. Racism is the poison in Arkansas soil. That's right, racism. Last week, hundreds of Arkansas farmers stood in a room and broke down in prayer in front of their elected officials. They weren't praying for rain, guys. They weren't praying for sunshine. They weren't even praying for a bumper crop. They were praying because their farms, their family land, their way of life is collapsing under tariffs and trade wars. And here's the truth. Those tariffs, that trade war, that whole playbook was born out of racism. Farmers were told the story that punishing foreigners would make America strong again. They were told to clap when leaders wagged their finger at China, Mexico, or whoever else they decided was the villain of the week. They were told it was patriotism, but really it was racism dressed up in red, white, and blue, and farmers bought it. They cheered it. They co-signed it. And now they are the ones paying the bill. Look at soybeans. Without tariffs, U.S. beans leaving New Orleans are cheaper than Brazil. But with tariffs, suddenly Brazil is winning. And who did that? Not God, not nature, not fate. Your own leaders waving a racist flag and calling it strength. And the farmers who clapped for it are now on their knees begging for help. This isn't the first time. History is packed with proof that racism bankrupts the very people it fuels. Jim Crow didn't just brutalize black citizens. It strangled the Southern economy for generations. Segregation didn't just rob black kids of opportunity. It robbed the entire South of progress, creativity, and prosperity. The Chinese Exclusion Act of the 1880s, it cut off immigrant labor that helped build America, leaving industries starved. Japanese internment during World War II, well, that destroyed businesses, farms, and families, and the whole economy bore the cost. Every single time America lets racism drive policy, the poison spreads. It never just hits the target. It always circles back. And now here we are again. Farmers in Arkansas prayed out loud last week because they're broke. And they know it. And some of them voted for this mess. Some of them cheered when the tariffs went into place because they thought it would put others in their place. But you can't hate and expect to harvest prosperity. You cannot poison your neighbor's well without eventually drinking from it yourself. So let's call this what it is. Racism is the poison in your soil. It's why your crops can't compete. It's why your barns are empty. It's why you bowed your head in front of men in suits who don't care about you at all beyond your vote. Racism doesn't just starve the people you think are your enemies. It starves you. Arkansas, this is your wake-up call. You can pray all you want, but you have to face the truth. Nothing changes unless you do. Racism isn't strength, it's weakness. It's not power, it's poison. It's killing your farms, your family, and your future. Please wake up.
Government is lying to us. This economy is about to collapse, the best thing you could do is lock in, get comfortable, and enjoy the ride. Every industry is about to burst. Take a look at the car industry. $1.5 billion worth of cars sitting on lots that nobody buying. The interest rate is all fucked up. You're paying $40,000, $50,000 for an average fucking vehicle. People are stuck in mortgages that they don't want to fucking be in no more. The houses are cheaply built. Every time you turn around, something fucking breaking. Hey, yo, and let's not forget these fucking commercial buildings and shit that people aren't using no more. They don't resort to Zoom and Vonage and shit like that. They giving up on a payment on that shit. The banks can't sell them shits to nobody, so the banking industry is all fucked up. And yo, this country is fucked up right now, man. And anybody thinking that the government is coming to save them, they can't even save their fucking self, bro. The government is shut the fuck down right now. Millions of people are about to go without food during Thanksgiving month. Yo, this shit is real out this motherfucker, man. And people walking around not knowing what the fuck is going on or believing everything gonna be all right. This is a fucking cardboard economy. Buy now, pay later. But where you gonna get the money to pay later? The job's not fucking hiring. Yo, I'm telling you right now, I don't know what the fuck is around the corner, but I'm scared. I'm scared about what the fuck is around this corner, man. I don't think any of us walking on earth right now have ever witnessed what the fuck is going on in our country. And this shit is fact.
The United States is about to break and nobody is willing to talk about it. If we as a country don't make a change here, we are cooked. The media doesn't give it the attention it deserves. Politicians won't say it out loud, but our country, it's drowning in over $36 trillion in debt. And here's the terrifying part. We're now spending more than $1 trillion a year just to pay the interest, not the debt itself, just the interest. It takes my breath away whenever I talk about it. Imagine you maxed out your credit card that you have, then took out more just to cover your monthly payments. That's what we're doing as a government and as a country. And when the bill comes due, it's you who's going to pay the price. Higher taxes, slash services, or worse, God forbid, a financial collapse that would make 2008 look like a hiccup. If we don't change course here, folks, if we don't stop printing money, overspending, and kicking this can down the road, your future, our future, won't be stable jobs and affordable homes. It'll be layoffs, rent that you can't afford, and retirement accounts that don't mean anything. Heck, some of you are saying right now, I'm already feeling the effects. They'll try to distract you with these headlines and drama, but this is the real threat we are facing, and nobody's coming to save us. I'm curious, what do you think about this in the comment section below? For more unapologetic and trustworthy news, hit that follow button. I appreciate you.
This isn't me trying to fearmonger. This is just me trying to prepare you. The U.S. economy right now is like a Jenga tower with 18 fucking pieces missing. We are one piece pulled out away from everything just toppling down. AI was responsible for 40% of U.S. GDP growth this past year and 80% of U.S. stock growth. And the manufacturing industry has contracted for 7 consecutive months, while every other economic indicator is saying this is as bad as things have been since 2009. Now, when you have a sentence that says the economy is as bad as it's been since 2009, you are fucked. So again, this is not me fear-mongering. This is just me preparing you. Our economy is in a very bad place. If you have a job, hold on to it with everything you have.
America loves to talk about freedom, but it is hard to heal when you have never admitted what you did to others to get that freedom. You can't move forward without truth. Maybe this is the universe's way of facing America to look into the mirror, to finally face the ghost it created, the pain it ignored, and the justice it has been running from. Because one way or the other, what's been buried always finds its way back to the surface.